It's weird. Like the first time you go into a turn at any kind of speed, you know immediately the engine is not where you're used to, and it drives completely differently. But it's very confidence inspiring, and with the engine being in the back, the front end is just so nimble and agile. You pick a line, and the car just obeys. So this is my 2009 Porsche 911 Carrera S. It's the 997.2. I got it with PDK. I got it with about 66,000 miles, and I put about 4,500 on it since then. So done a little bit of driving on it, but not a whole lot yet. A couple of canyon runs down to Cars and Coffee, that kind of thing. So 3.8 liter flat six, made 385 horsepower from the factory, which is that magical 100 horsepower per liter. And it's Porsche's first 100 horsepower per liter engine in a road car that they made. It's kind of quiet. It's kind of I don't want to say sluggish, but it feels a little slow before like 4,000 RPMs, and then from 4 to 7, that's where the engine really wants to live. So this engine is the first of the direct injection engines. It got rid of the IMS bearing. There's no IMS issue on this car. And it's the same architecture they're using to this day. This is, what they have now is a direct evolution from this. The bore scoring is the big fear that everyone worries about. But there's some pretty easy ways to diagnose it real quickly. With the stock exhaust, if you check in the driver's side exhaust, usually the inner, but sometimes the outer muffler tip, if it's like really like wet and sooty and oily, that's bore scoring, because the right exhaust bank goes to the left exhaust tips. So I'm averaging about 22, ripping down the canyons and driving like a hooligan. If I were to be careful, I could probably get 24, 25 pretty easily on average. As long as you stay out of the throttle, it'll stay out of the tank. This one also has the Porsche Sport exhaust. The two outer mufflers have vacuum lines going to them, and it'll actually, you can tell to open up the valves. The stock exhaust weighs about 15 to 18 pounds, I think, and this is about 10. The Fab Speed center muffler bypass, so it replaces the center muffler. Stock, the two banks don't flow together at all, but with this, it's an X pipe, so it adds a little bit of flow and scavenging effect. From what I've read, and I'm dubious on this, it's supposed to be 12 to 15 horsepower just from that muffler delete. It feels like it's got a little bit of pep in its step. The stock exhaust weighs about 15 to 18 pounds, I think, and this is about 10. Michelin's are my to-go-to for sports car tires. I had a lot of good luck with them on my Corvettes. When I bought the car, the rear tires actually need to be replaced, so I got that thrown in with the car. All the S's came with the Sport Chrono package, which adds the little clock on the dashboard. It's actually a lap timer. And it also adds the PASM Porsche Active Suspension Management. Sport mode quickens the shifts, changes the shift patterns, makes the throttle more responsive. It changes the way the car drives. The car has a dual personality. It feels a bit lazy when it's in normal mode, but once it's in sport mode, it feels exactly like you would expect a 911 to feel like. And this one also has the optional Sport Chrono Plus package, which basically Sport Plus is track mode. Locks out 7th gear, makes the shifts a bit quicker, throttle a little bit more responsive, and activates launch control. Like in real life and on the track, the C7 was faster. This feels faster, right? It's more fun to drive, it's more engaging. The C7, regardless of what RPM you were in, there was power waiting for you. If you tipped into the throttle, the car went. To drive this fast, you have to keep it in those high RPMs, and you have to really kind of manage your weight and balance when you're in a turn, because that rear end does like to shift around a little bit. The C7 Corvette, it forgave all errors. It forgave all mistakes. It made you look like a hero. The C5 Z06, same thing. It was just a very stable car and it was there to make driving easy for you. This is here to make driving fun for you. Since I got the car with absolutely no documentation, didn't know when the oil was done, didn't know when the transmission fluid was changed, that kind of thing. I took it down to Porsche Santa Clarita. They had them do it for me because, no factory service records whatsoever. I think it was like $350 or $400 for the oil change. It has I think 11 or 12 quarts of oil. It's a dry sump oil system. It's got a ton of oil like most German cars tend to do. Realistically, I wouldn't have saved that much money doing it my own. Porsche recommends I think it's a 20,000 mile oil change. And then the transmission service was, I think it was like 700 or 800, which is honestly about normal for an automatic transmission service and filter. And then I also got the front brakes done. I was having some pulsing when I was under hard braking, and it didn't look like the brake pads because it looked like they had plenty of life left. Turns out it was the brake rotors. They're like 3.5 millimeters thick and should have been replaced before I bought the car, but they weren't. New pads, new rotors, new sensors. That set me back. Oh, that was about $1,800. And again, looking at the parts, doing the pads and rotors, I wasn't going to do it for much less than $15 myself. So they already have it. Why not?